You're now tuned in to the show after the show. Special edition. I'm your host, Ben Ready. Of course, Ben the Blueprint Ready. Joined alongside of some very
close
individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got No Cut the Pimp.
All right.
We got Mr. Pickles.
Pickles in the building.
We had to drop the music for Mr. Pickles. And we got 36 in the building.
36. What's up?
How you gentlemen doing tonight, man?
Oh, we good, man.
Oh, real good.
Everything's everything.
Can you speak for them too?
Oh, no. They good, too.
They good, too.
So I'll say nothing until I say something.
Which one?
Hey, my boy, the nigga who do the beats for the show, that nigga made this shit. It's 80s,
Yeah, I like that.
little 80s, little
I
baby
kind of like the
mix.
80s thing. That's pretty good.
Okay, you went straight there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Pickles. Pickles went straight in. Oh, there it go. Now, let me fade this music out.
Yeah, sound like me again.
What'd you say?
Sound like me again.
Okay. Yeah, man. Like I said, we are live on the show after show, a very special edition, man. You know, having everybody here at one time. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? And we made it here on a good note. Not nothing sad and no passing. You know what I'm saying? All Ken here. My nigga 36. Explain to the people why you named 36.
I'm 36.
It don't get no plainer than that, do it? Because I'm 36. When I'll be 37, I'll be 37.
Name change every year.
Pickles, why your name Pickles?
As a phallic object. That's why my name is Pickles.
Because you're a phallic object?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm a dick. That's what.
He didn't put no cut on that.
All right, he's a dick. All right, no cut.
You said it. Self-explanatory. There you go.
Okay, no cut, 100%.
100%. Straight legs for no chase.
Hello.
All right.
Stuff that's going on. I guess I'll just shoot from the hip. Y'all seen the video with the chick that was killed by the police officer that was on the ground tussling with him in Texas?
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
It went viral, yeah.
What's your guys' take on that? Was it self-defense?
Hell no. I'm just cut that off right there. Hell no.
It wasn't self-defense.
No, it wasn't, because you actually see him toss the taser just before he shoots her. If you look down to the right, just before the front of the car, you see him throw her taser down and shoots her. So, yeah, it's not self-defense.
Now, do you think she actually did it hit him? Did he get tased and he snatched it out of him and then threw it?
Well, his just based on my knowledge, his actions of a level of force was actually backwards. What I mean by that is you're supposed to use the pepper spray. No, you're supposed to use the taser first. If that doesn't work, you're supposed to pepper spray. Not vice versa, because if you pepper spray first and then use a taser, the pepper spray lights on fire, that's what you call a roasted marshmallow. So actually, because he didn't go to pepper spray after the taser, that's like a breach of policy on his part. I don't know what the department policy is, but that's what I would think.
Which he still won't get in trouble. Maybe he'll do what? Push some papers at the desk for a little bit.
Worst case scenario, you probably get fired. Then go get hired right
In the next town over, next
Correct.
county.
Yeah, that's the way things go.
Now,
Unfortunately.
my whole thing was, now we didn't see the video prior to that. So my thing is, we don't know what happened, whatever the case. But my thing is being like, if I get pulled over, I roll all my windows down. You know, I sit my shit there. Hey, whatever it is, check my shit. I'm not with the back and forth. Do what you got to do so I can get on with my day. With this situation, and we know the temperature with the police right now. the police itching to kill black and brown people, or maybe just people in general, because some of them just want to kill. A lot of people get on the force to just kill. So my thing is, why do people keep trying to go head on with the police knowing that they out here killing people?
Yeah, the outcome. You know, it's not going to de-escalate
Right.
after a situation goes to a certain point. I've never seen it go down after it went up. So, right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you can alleviate that from happening, I think person should. And that's what you say. You haven't seen the beginning video. That's how I felt about it. Like, what led up to this point right here? We just seen a person film at a certain point,
Right.
and then going from there. So, I don't know what led up to that point right there, but the outcome is what you would expect it to be.
Just, I mean, how many people actually win against the police these days?
That's a training thing. They don't win because police are actually trained to exceed the level of force that you're matching them at. A lot of them not trained to de-escalate situations, so they're trained like if you go with this, you use your fist, they'll use weapons. If you use weapons,
Yeah, they got to one up you.
Yeah, they're trained to one up you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never a de-escalation situation with cops, unless you get like a
veteran,
not even a veteran, because the veterans they can actually engineer a situation where they actually shoot you and get away with it. That makes it more dangerous.
I mean, but it more depends on the individual, though.
Yeah, it depends on the individual.
Because I mean, I've been in a situation with cops where they've told me, like, had I not been as experienced of a cop as I am, I had grounds to shoot you, and they really did. But since there was a veteran, they gave me a pass because they've been in a situation before and they know how the outcome would be. Mm-hmm. And there was some, I guess, clean cops, and they didn't take the steps that they could have took, which was justified in shooting in a situation like that.
But does the justification make it right?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But at the same time, you got to see what part the victim play in the situation.
Yeah. Well, and think about it, right? If most of the time the cops have the choice to use force if they want or not, but even like the veteran cop told you, hey, if this is a rookie cop, well, the rules they have right now are supposed to be rookie proof.
Yeah,
So that's an issue that they're having as being law enforcement officers, is that you get these guys who are rookies, you get these guys who are want to kill somebody, and the laws are archaic. So none of it's evolving to change that to actually protect this.
I think officers should go through a psychological evaluation.
They do.
Do they?
Yep, they do. And you can't fail the psych test because it's each department, and this, I think they should make everything the same across the board. So each department has different parameters for the psychological test. So I can take 3 different tests from 3 different departments and pass 2 and fail 1 for no reason because I didn't meet the profile they were looking for. So they have a psych test. You go through polygraph. You go through all this other stuff. But I think they should have more transparency, and they should have more evaluations from psychiatrists outside of the law enforcement community.
Right.
He's gonna bump his head.
Now, so with on the police force, I mean, is it shoot to kill or shoot to
absolutely
shoot to kill
every time?
It ain't shoot to stop.
Nah.
Well, that's what I'm
they
saying.
They don't want you in court. They don't want you to show up in court.
So
If they don't kill you, right? Let's say if they pop off all like 20 rounds that they're carrying, or they pop off just 2 just to wound you. Guess what you can do? You sue the Kit City.
Yeah, and they don't want that.
Nah.
The official explanations. I didn't plan on killing you. I was just shooting to stop the threat. And I had to use lethal force to stop the threat.
My question is, why when they shoot a person 12 to 19 times, they cuff them up right after? What harm is that person the shell of the person that they used to be? Because after 19 shots, they're not harmful at all.
Yeah, I done seen people
cuffed
up, dead. They was dead, like lifeless.
Yeah,
and they still cuff them up. That's like a slap in the face.
Put your hands behind your back. You just killed me. Put my hands on my back after I'm dead. I'm double. You dead.
Well, and that's because of where they're trained. Remember, they're not thinking when they shoot rounds on you. They empty their magazines and stuff like that. They're not thinking at all. They're going through procedure.
Well,
right?
Yeah, with the train, yeah.
I'm gonna go cuff him up.
That's what I was.
I'm telling him to stop moving. Drop the gun. He's already dead. You blew his head off.
Yeah.
Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. They'll just keep doing like procedure over like a robot.
Oh, so it's like a what's that called? The Manchurian candidate
yeah,
type thing?
pretty much, yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's like teaching Fido to take a dump after he do 3 circles.
Yeah. So every time you do 3 circles, he's dumping.
Correct.
No matter what's going on.
No matter what's going on, he's gonna take you because you trained the dog to do that.
Okay. I got you.
Now, so I wonder what the outcome of that would be, because of course they gonna win. Like when the last time a cop actually lost? Well, there was one recently but the cop was like Middle Eastern and he killed like a white woman. He wasn't white and killed a black person. I think it was in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. He was like, I think he was Middle Eastern or something. He was something. And he killed a white woman, and they sent that nigga up the river. And
what was his reason for killing this white woman?
I don't remember, but was he responding to a house call? Something happened, but it's funny that one of the people that was sent up, sent upstate, that was a police officer, happened to be somebody that wasn't white. The majority of the time, the white ones is getting off. Mm-hmm. The ones of color, not so much. I would like to see a black officer. If a black officer killed somebody white, and it was justifiable, like what would happen? They gonna send that nigga up? Like are they gonna defend this nigga like they would
a white officer?
A white one? No, is it protect us boys in blue and protect the badge, or protect nigga you color. Black? Yeah. Like all that shit, you kill somebody white.
I could say from insider knowledge, there's a lot of racial tension in departments.
Right,
I can imagine.
I could tell you that right now. There's a lot of racial cliques, racial tensions, and no, of course not. They're not going to give you. Don't get me wrong. When you're a person of color and a cop, you're still a cop, so you still one of them, but you're not. You don't have the full status of being one of them unless you're vetted and recommended by one of them. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the mafia, like
yeah, like valid. You gotta be validated.
Yeah, you gotta be validated. Mm-hmm. So you gotta be liked by everybody, and
somebody gotta speak up for you.
Correct. And
right. Mm-hmm.
And then say, okay, he's cool. He can have a place, but as long as he sit down and be quiet.
Yeah. You can have a place, but know your place.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of them work, and nobody's going to talk about it because you'll lose your career, and they can just screw with you and make you quit. Because nobody really questions what they do.
Right.
I mean, so even being behind the badge, you're not all the way protected.
No, not at all. Actually, it's worse.
It's worse.
It's
worse. See what's going on, right?
Because you're upfront and personal with it.
You're upfront and personal with it, but also your people look at you a certain way because you're one of them.
Right. So now you're caught between.
Mm-hmm.
You're not accepted here, and you're not accepted there.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a bad situation to be in.
You have to have a lot of respect before you go in. And that's one thing they hate. You have a neighborhood and have respect to the people in the neighborhood, and they hate that.
Mm-hmm. Because
that means you're one of them, and you're not one of us, because they don't see people like that as actual being people.
Yeah.
You remember? I don't know if it was like that for y'all when y'all was kids. When I was young, nigga used to wave at the police. You know what I'm saying? The wave at the firemen go by. Now
I wave at the police now. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, all cops aren't bad cops.
Facts.
So, if you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. I also believe that a lot of situations and outcomes come from how you address them when you encounter with the cops.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience.
Depending on how you popping off, right?
Right. I've never had nothing bad happen to the point where anything physical or things like I said when I had to run in with the cop. He told me off top. He said that if I wasn't a veteran, me being I would have been nervous. I would have shot you. But me knowing how certain situation scenarios turn out, I didn't take those steps. So I know I got to take into consideration all cops aren't bad cops. They have cops that ride by and wave. They they're familiar with you and they know what kind of you're upstanding citizen. Then they just wave at you and everything, and they know you're not doing anything bad or anything like that. So I know a lot of situations when cops first approach you. Sometimes it starts off escalated. Sometimes it can be escalated. It just does not de-escalate. I was wondering why is that, but a lot of times, it might just be a traffic stop. It just start off as a traffic stop. It can turn into something else. I've seen it happen, not particularly myself, but I have seen things grow into something beyond traffic stops.
You have to de-escalate it yourself.
Well, I won't. If it's myself, I'm not going to let it escalate.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not going. I'm not going to trigger off anything to make you go outside of. Well, one thing I'm not. I'm going to just say this off top. I'm not a yes sir, no sir kind of guy. Me particularly, I feel like when you start using that sir word, you're hiding something, or you're guilty of something, and you're trying to.
If you don't use it,
compromise, right. So I'll just be like, officer or whatever, or I'll just talk to the person. When you start using that sir, I just seen so many times that sir come out to be you're trying to kind of get the cop away from you because you're guilty of something, some type of crime that's taking place that you don't want them to figure out. So I don't do the sirs. I don't. That's a submitting to me too. Sir, I don't like it. I just don't use that.
I don't serve them either. I just talk to them like they regular
I just talk to them. Yeah, really.
Hey, how's it going?
We're gonna build a respect level from here. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna respect you. You gonna respect me. Let's do what you came to do, and let's leave it at that.
You and that's how give me a ticket so I can get on. Or?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. If you're trying to play some tricky word game to try to get inside the car, or whatever. I'm a taxpayer, so do whatever you need to do, man. I know y'all got certain ways to persuade your way to get into this and that. Do by way of questioning. Are you on probation or parole? All that type of stuff like that. Okay, this is not a traffic stop. This is something you're trying to escalate into something. Mm-hmm. Do what you got to do. Let's get it out the way. I know it's a violation on your part, but let's just get it out the way, man. I'm not your person. The person you looking for to have an altercation with, I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
Go find your guy. Now, somebody else that might work well into your favor.
They're looking for you to.
You get the blah 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 blah.
Yeah, they want you to be combative.
Oh yeah, and then the second car pull up. Not things is out of context. Uh-huh. When that second troop, boom. Okay, now we got a situation.
Mm-hmm. And you still remain calm.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to get to that point where that second one have to pull up because that means
the second one's going to pull up anyway.
Yeah, I mean a lot of situations. I mean, especially if you're rolling one person per cruiser. Yeah, right. Second one pull up, jump out for support or whatever. The thing might get out of hand or whatever. It ain't there. But in a situation like that, I'm gonna try to talk to the most level-headed one because everybody pulling up ain't on the same page. Mm-hmm. Some been around been around a station for years. And know how to handle situations, are familiar with situations like this, and know how to handle it, and they be calm. Some of them do. Some come and turn things up and get the other person turned up. So I want to keep it on a level. Let's handle this, whatever you're trying to handle. Do I get a ticket or whatever? Let me go. I'm not causing no trouble. Let me go. Mm-hmm.
I remember when I got pulled over going to work like 5 o'clock in the morning, right? And this cop pulls out of the gas station, try to cut me off because I have the right of way. I'm going down the street. Mm-hmm. So he pulls over, he stops, he follows me, right? All until I get to the job, just about a block away from the job. And he hits the lights. So I pull over, roll all my windows down because I got 10 in the back, right? Mm-hmm. And turn the dome lights on, put my hands on the steering wheel, walks up. I saw you were speeding. Where are you on your way to? Heading to work. Okay, why you got your windows down? I'm like, so you can see inside my car because I don't want you to just in my head, I'm thinking I don't want you to
feel threatened
by the tents, or you think somebody's in the back.
You can't see anything. Yeah.
So he was like, well, when you took off and made that right, I thought you were trying to run from me. That's why I lit you up. So by that time, the second car got there, and the other guy got out. He gets over to the right passenger side. He's just looking right for support. Mm-hmm. He's like, so where you heading? I'm on my way to work right here. Oh, you work right there? Oh, okay. All right, everything cool, man. You can go ahead and take off now. Simple like that.
Right. Because they thought it was going to turn into something different.
He thought it was going to have like an attitude or something with it.
Attitude, be on some illegal shit. That's what he was aiming for.
Right.
When it didn't turn out like that, he had to let his partner go. Hey, this ain't one of the ones.
Right.
It's a chess game. You playing a chess game in traffic. Out here in the street, you playing a chess game.
Exactly.
It could go bad. It could go good. I'll say at the initial point, it kind of go by how you said it. Because they're ready to get stupid.
Yeah.
Hand on the trigger.
Yeah, they walk up with it like Western Day. Like,
yeah.
The interview was like, they got one hand on the trigger and one hand on the doorknob handle to pop your ass out the car. Act like you don't want to get out that car and everything. It's rock and roll for that. It's rock and roll.
One of the things people fail to realize is, and exactly what you said, both of y'all are like 100% on point. If two people walked up to your car with their gun out or their gun in their waist and they grab their car, you don't know them, you're automatically going to think this is a bad situation.
Off top.
So I need to stay calm because I don't know if they're going to shoot me or not. That's the way you need to treat them, like they're two normal people who have their hand on their guns who pulled you over to stop you. And we keep thinking that they owe us something because they're officers of the law, and you have to understand those are people. So there's no difference between them and two civilians who stopped your car and walked up to your car. Because you act totally different. Two civilians walked up with two guns on them. You be trying to like de-escalate the situation.
Right.
But because they're a public servant, I'm going to get them off and off. So I'll always go by these words is be compliant and sue them later.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that people fail to one of these people fail to realize. Be completely compliant, and that's why you don't see them shooting Jewish people or Asian people or anybody with a community that has money and lawyers on because they'll sue them. They'll keep suing them, and even if you don't win the lawsuits, they'll spend money defending the lawsuits.
Right.
It's all about money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things I always tell people: make sure you have a dash cam, apply it, and treat them like they're two people that you don't know. Because everybody look at public servant and you think, I can just talk crazy to them; they can't do nothing to me. And you're wrong. They're two people you don't know who has guns, who's authorized to kill you.
Right.
That's no difference. That's no different than a gang member to me.
Right.
Yeah, they say the police is the biggest gang.
Yeah. You're 200% right. That's no different than a gang member. You roll up and two gamers roll up to your car and say, hey, where you from? Let me talk to you real quick. They ain't trying to kill you, so they're trying to figure out what's going on here. You're gonna there's very few people who's gonna present themselves differently than trying to de-escalate the situation. Mm-hmm. But we can keep thinking that, these are public servants and I can talk to them like they're robots and I can do this. You're both all three are 100% on point, but treat them like they're regular people who walked up with a gun to see what you're doing. That's all I can say about that.
Okay, so prior to us recording, we had a conversation about the boxing. Tonight, what's the dude name? The heavyweight that's keeping heavyweight boxing alive. Deontay Wilder knocked out the Fluke.
Oh yeah, his name was Brazil.
In Brazil. Now we talked about how you talked about how the punch looked hard.
The punch did look hard. But getting up, he looked like he was stunned, like really like off his rocker. The punch didn't look like no hellified punch, like with power on it like that. But he went down, flopped on the canvas, got up at the 9 count, which 10 was null and void. He gets up, he hangs on the rope, he's out. Okay, but I was like, well, boxing, I'm a boxing fan. I'm not even a casual boxing fan. I'm an adamant boxing fan, and I'm like, I look at how the boxing world go. I know it's a business, but I see how they judge fights and how they match fights and how the winners become who more lucrative. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If a boxer fight and no one goes down, the more popular boxer is the winner. That's how it happened.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
way it go. Who can I make the most money off of? Who's the fan favorite?
So basically, if it go 12 rounds,
If it go 12 rounds, it's a crapshoot.
because
That's why you don't want to go to the judge's decision, unless you dominated a whole fight and it's so one sided that they be like, I gotta give it to this person. If it look like a 6-6 fight, the fight going to the person that's more profitable. You see what I'm saying? That's just me observing the shit and seeing how shit matches up. It's really a business. It's been like that forever. That's where the promoters come into play at. Why we need somebody to negotiate a bigger purse for me? What that person not boxing. This is a business. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? You got your Bob Arums. You got your the cat from the UK. I can't think the ones for Anthony Joshua with. And they got a few promoters around right now.
now,
Al Heyman.
yeah, Al Heyman. Forgot about Al Heyman.
Yeah, I had to mention Al Heyman because him and Bob Arums is two top.
I don't watch boxing.
Now, okay, we gonna get into that. So that's why a lot of people was upset with Floyd Mayweather outcomes in some of his fights. Some people feel like he lose, but to me, he just a scorecard fighter. Like he's
He's a technical boxer,
Yeah.
which meaning is he's actually calculating every punch. He's doing what the judge is doing. When they count, he's counting with them. So if they had a dispute on his count, he'll say, well, I counted as da-da-da. And he probably can go across the board and show you where he landed those punches, which rounds it was in, and how accurate he was with those punches.
But his fights are
He's
not
a
entertaining,
technician.
though.
He's a technician. So he went into boxing with a judge's mentality on how they scored. That's why he's like
James Harden, right? Manipulating the rules.
well,
His fights are not entertaining though.
no.
Nah.
Well, like one of the reasons why I don't like really watch a lot of sports, or in boxing in particular, because sports are nothing more than another form of politics. I mean, see personally, and understanding the concept, what that was taught to me, that every good business is rigged
Right.
in some shape, form, or fashion. You know, I'm not saying that fighters are bought off, or fighters are throwing a fight, but you can actually shave the odds in one direction or other by outside factors. What I mean by the refs and the judges and the popularity and the matching. You can actually manipulate certain outcomes just from like what I call soft manipulation. And I see that a lot in a lot of sports. You know, just like when you had the guys who had the flat footballs.
Oh, yeah, you talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah,
what was the name of that shit?
I heard about that.
Deflategate, something like that.
yeah, and that's been going on for a long time. They just got caught.
Somebody snitched. I don't know if somebody caught somebody snitched.
Somebody got mad.
Man, oh, you ain't gonna give me that bonus? Yeah, these niggas flatten these balls.
Well, think about it, right?
Pause.
On the regular.
Pause. But think about this, right? Even with the gloves, the sticky gloves,
Mm-hmm.
they had that for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know? So, all this stuff is, all these little nuances can actually have like a synergy to push things to an outcome that you want politically. When I say politically, not like political as far as like presidential or whatever, but popularity, when everything's political with them. So pretty much it's gambling. Like you go to casinos and you bet on, what you call it, blackjack or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
All right.
It's just a popularity contest, and it's rigged. You're watching. I'm not saying all is rigged, but you're watching something that's not pure.
Okay.
I can't deal with that.
Now let me ask you guys: if you guys was boxing, you boxers, and if you win, let's say you won $10 million, but a promoter came to you like, we know you could whoop his ass. We'll give you $15 million to throw it.
I wouldn't do it.
Will you throw that fight for an extra $5 million?
That's something I wonder about too.
It depends
on
on
a lot
what
of
all
fights.
they dangling in front of you. threatening you and all that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I feel that there are boxers that have been propositioned and they can't say anything about it. I do feel like it is boxers that have been done like that. And
Mainstream.
I don't think they have the option to say yes or no. Right. Yeah, it's like this is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to get. Fuck this sport. This sport is a business. And this is what you're going to do. You can't go say nothing about it because you're OD. You'll die of some drugs, some pain meds that from boxing, OCD. What's it called?
What's the difference between that and Harvey Weinstein?
What's the
There's
difference?
No difference.
No, it's not a difference. It's not.
It's no. I mean, think about it. If you go to a hotel, meet me at the hotel at this particular time, you already know what's up.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think they tell you to throw the fight, but I do think they tell you. And I don't know, but I would speculate that they tell you to not knock him out.
Right.
Go easy on him, right?
Yeah, because Vegas, they have a bunch of crazy, weird
bets. Make it past the third, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot is riding on that, and I was wondering, like, how do they profit from all these different kind of bets? It's got to be a system set up to where they're going to win no matter what. And they don't, allegedly, they don't know what the outcome going to be unless they design it a certain way. So it's going like that dude got knocked out tonight, first round. It looked like a lay down move to me, man. And one thing I look at on fights is the hype. The hype behind a fight. Every fight is hyped and crazy. I get it. That's the marketing strategy, and they're selling a fight. You're selling a fight.
Yeah,
so.
that nigga talking about, he want to step in the ring, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill
all
him.
that. You did something to my brother and all that shit. So it's like, okay, this is a new type of hype here. Y'all got some out the ring shit that doesn't have.
That nigga say you did something to my brother.
Yeah, you did something to my brother. You jumped him at the buffet and some shit. Hit him in the back of the head. That's what that motherfucker said.
He's getting some straight fried rice.
That was some new shit. So you like, oh, this might be something for real, you know?
That nigga said you beat him up at the buffet. You get your ass kicked at the buffet, nigga.
I mean, it's hard to fight at the buffet. Think about it, right?
You gotta drop your plate?
You got like 6 plates in you already. You're going to take an L.
So you got to talk your way out of it.
You got to talk your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? If I got 6 plates in me, and your stomach hurting like you got poo-poo too, you know what I'm saying? You got to take a dump.
That nigga said poo-poo. Don't ever say poo-poo live on the air, nigga.
They borrow some curse words, huh?
But you got to think of it like this. Like, if it was rigged, you can make it look good if you tell the guy to take a fall, right? So he going to go into the ring and not even defend himself. To get stuck.
Oh, like shut down at a certain point.
Or like, I'm just gonna leave this open. He gonna hit me with the right, but he not knowing that he's gonna hit him with the right. If I just do like this,
yeah, it'll look good.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy he's fighting don't even know. Like you might know, but he don't know.
But he don't know.
At some point, I'm gonna fall. It's gonna look good because
I'm leaving myself open.
We weren't both in on this.
Right.
It wasn't scripted. I know what to do. He don't know what to do. He gonna do what his best.
He's gonna. I'm gonna swing on him.
Yeah, he gonna do his best.
Oh, he's open.
It's gonna look real.
Right.
Yeah,
That's why I don't watch it.
It could be. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's. Man,
money really, really, really makes the world go round.
Yes. From every aspect, money is it. From gas to medicine to sports.
What is money?
Piece of paper. Money is control of things in the world.
No.
What's your take on money? What is money?
Pretty much it's a tangible medium for desire of what you want. It's pretty much what it is. I mean, if you really study it, it doesn't mean it doesn't worth anything. The only worth that you have is what you want it to be worth, or what you want, or what you could buy from it.
From money, right?
You know, so they understand this, and they understand that how people think and the human instinct, and they can manipulate people. I mean, think about it. Everybody's being manipulated now. We all being manipulated by the stuff they tell us to do.
Man, look.
Hey, watch this. Watch this sport. Watch this. Watch that.
That's why. That's why. That's why I don't watch sports. Boxing, I used to watch MMA. It's going to be boxing, MMA, one or the other, or maybe both a little bit. But I don't really watch sports because, logically thinking, what is the underlying purpose of these sports for us to pay attention to? What is this doing?
It's programming you.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. I don't get it. And where's all these millions of dollars coming from?
Well, it's to make money. They program you to consume what, remember, the basic currency, the current currency that we have in our society right now is attention.
Yes, I see. That's a big deal. Attention.
Whatever you pay attention to makes money, and they understand that. So that what they're going to do is go, okay, well, pay attention to this, pay attention to that, pay attention to this. We're going to rig that. It's a casino. It's a giant freaking casino and a TV show. I mean, one of the things I learned is I started watching TV, and I started to notice my brain was actually being programmed from the TV, right? Because you look at these people, right, and think about it. All the archetypes, and it's still bad, but all the archetypes that you see on TV are white male, and I'm not saying like being racist or anything, but white male. And their leadership, and you might have a few cases of diversity, but most of them will be white male, and I had to keep telling myself. I started seeing myself started to respond different to white male authority than black male authority, Mexican male authority, Asian male authority, because I'm being programmed to respond a certain way to white male authority. So what I started doing, I started watching TV. I cut down on my TV, and when I did watch TV shows, I was telling myself, none of these people that you see on the screen are capable of doing the job of the character that they're portraying.
Yeah, it's like a on and off switch. They jump in. That's like Denzel Washington in that what's the name of that movie, man? Where he
the part 2,
yeah, Equalizer. Right. That nigga can't move like that. That nigga bent fucked up fingers and shit. Like he ain't moving like that.
Oh no, they fixed it for him.
He got his fingers in the mix.
He's bow-legged.
Yeah, but
pigeon toe. Oh yeah, bow-legged. Bow-legged. Yeah.
It's good to the motherfucker to watch it, but I mean, that's the thing that can come like
David Carradine in Kung Fu. He wasn't doing all that shit either.
None of them are capable, but your brain will tell you. Your brain will tell you that when you see these archetypes, that most of them can actually do the jobs. When you start seeing these people that fit these particular characters, which is usually white males, dominant white males, you automatically think these guys are superior. These guys are. That's like this back in the 70s when the Kung Fu craze.
What's that?
Every Asian guy, when you looked at him back in the 70s, he can do Kung Fu. He did not know how to do Kung Fu. I mean, that's when everybody started coming out with these martial arts schools, and before MMA kind of crushed all of them. Everybody was, teaching karate this and this type of karate and stuff like that, because every Asian guy who knew some type of secret karate thing came out with their own Kung Fu style, and now they're all getting whooped on by MMA guys.
Speaking of that, real quick, the dude with the chi. You ever seen
that?
The YouTube dude? You seen that? It's a guy that he's supposed
the key master. It's
key master.
You got a what?
He's supposed to be so in tune with his chi, like he could hit niggas without hitting them. You ever seen that? So he got his own dojo or class. I mean, his own dojo. That's what it is.
Yeah,
a dojo of actor niggas.
Power of suggestion.
Who sit there and they run up to him. And they jumping away. He throwing his hands at him like he hitting them.
Yeah.
And them niggas like from here to where the Pickles is, and them niggas just falling back like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they had that nigga fight. Yes, they had that nigga fight a real motherfucker.
And he had to do him like that.
The funny part, he was so.
They signed waivers.
Who did?
Him and the key master
to fight.
To
Look, he was so lost in his own bullshit that he thought that shit was gonna work when he fought old boy. The nigga ran up on that nigga going like this. Shit ain't working.
He had a controller in his hand. You controller go out and you just slapping the buttons,
slapping the joystick.
He grounded me out.
Hey, that nigga got the dog shit beat out his ass.
We see when he first got hit, he was like, he just hit me.
Yeah, I can't believe it didn't work.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Yeah, the Chi guy wasn't working on that nigga, man.
Then he try to air slap him. You see what's going to go like this?
Yo, cut it. It's hilarious. I'll show you after this. It's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I never heard about him.
And he got the dog, and he older too.
He's like 70.
Yeah,
That young
he was
cat
like
that
25. He ain't doing like that. He
He
didn't
doing
do
like that.
Was he black?
Nah, he was like Asian.
It was Asian on Asian
okay.
crime.
Hey, that other
Came in
nigga.
there.
And you know they blackballed the dude.
They came. They needed to.
The one that whooped on him, they blackballed him.
He fucked up their money.
He should have done that.
I mean, talking about his country. They blackballed him from years
Wow.
because he was.
That's like the faith healer man.
Hey,
Yeah.
but they did. He did
Hitler
sign a
at
waiver to like if they died from it, they both signed it.
Well, you know,
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah,
And
that
this-
Russian,
this-
Ivan Drago.
the same guy was on a TV show years earlier, and they had him hooked up equipment. And one of the things that he can do is ring a bell with his voice because of the pressure and the sound wave, right? And that was actually designed to kind of throw you off, to startle you, while they go for their weapon. So they would yell, "Ah," right, like to kind of startle you. And it's not like we prepare for fights. Like, somebody go boom, like what's the name came in and Nick came in, and I jumped like that.
Yeah.
That's what they would do to get you to get a startle response and then stab you in the neck with something.
Yeah.
They wanted to assassinate you. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
wanted to assassinate. So it was an assassinate. It wasn't a fighting technique. It was actually an assassination technique. And the problem, he got caught up in the same thing. They watched too much. I'm not saying TV, but they watched too much archetypes that's saying, okay, well, this guy can do this stuff, and he can't. So he was caught up in his own, his brain was telling him, that's what I'm talking about, that faulty thing with the brain.
Yeah.
His brain was telling him, you can do this.
This works.
This works because you're training your brain, watching these guys. You already told these guys to fall out the way. And you're training your brain over and over again, every single day. I can make these guys fall away. So guess what your brain's going to do?
That I'm really doing this.
Is
After a while, after you keep training, it's like I'm really doing this.
Correct.
I want to know the mental of the niggas who's jumping out the way.
Oh, they weak minded.
Very.
Like, is it really worth? Like, what you get out of being a dummy?
It's like cult
Out of this.
followers.
They're not being dumb. They're actually, and it's not just them. I see it across the board. I mean, if you look at all these challenges that come out, it's the same thing. Psychologically, if you boil all the way down to psychological components, it's really the same thing. What makes you so dumb that you're going to participate in something which you know what the outcome is?
Yeah, that, excuse me. That's some, as they say in Philly, that's some nut shit right there.
It's because one of the most strongest human needs is to be a part of a pack.
They want to feel. Let me guess. They mom was never home, and they want to feel. They didn't feel. They felt a certain way and wanted to be accepted like gangs.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
So what you think about it, Cut?
My view on it is a lot of stuff, man, is social media driven. Followers, clout chasing. It's really easy to become famous nowadays for a little bit of nothing. Like I said, I've came from watching people with talent really do talented things, and now I see people with no talent become famous from doing non-talented things. Prince said before, use your computer, don't let your computer use you. Wise saying by him. And a lot of us let our computers use us. You know. If you don't own your masters own you.
Yeah, that's pretty much. If pretty much is MK. That's pretty rough.
Thank you.
You know, pretty much it's MK Ultra.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about that, but I do.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, if you think about it, the goal is, if you look at something, you have to be talented. And long as talent played a factor that they couldn't control, like genetic talent, situational talent.
Right.
I mean, it's like nature and nurture. As long as that played a factor, they couldn't control that.
Right.
The moment that they tricked everybody and they started manufacturing celebrities, they didn't need talent, and they could just rip what they wanted from your culture. Because we're talented, we set the benchmark for music, and I seen how they slowly started manufacturing these celebrities who really, I mean music, even pop culture, we set the benchmark for it, and I see them slowly manufacture these stars or these celebrities that are they're not known for anything, but other than some executive, what you call the industry plant. That's what they are.
Right.
Some executive, decided to make them a star, and that's the only thing they're known for. So the industry, what you call the industry, the executives, the corporations control who is popular. It's not based on talent, but based on what they tell you who is talented. It's based on what they tell you.
Yeah, and not mean to cut you off, but I'm glad you said that, because I was telling somebody about a day or two ago that they push people in front of you, make you receptive to that particular person, versus having an option of picking who you want. They kind of like guard it to you to the point where you
Start liking it.
You start liking it. I've seen myself start being more receptive to something I knew wasn't talent. And I was like...
Because you're hearing it 24/7.
24/7. What they call it, heavy rotation. Heavy rotation, synchronized playing. I start to hear it. It start to grow on me. It start to sound good. If I don't have no other outlet or nowhere else to go with it, I will become a slave to that sound, and I will take that in and consider it. And I see how it works. I see how it works. And that go with celebrities too. That go musicians, athletes. I believe everybody that's been a star to us in our eyes, there have been 2 or 3 other people that was just equivalent talented or more that didn't get that chance. For instance, they talk the Beyonce thing. I'm like, anybody with that chance and the right backing could have been a Beyonce. A lot of people could have been a Beyonce. But they put that one person in front of our faces and built this person up to the point where this is the ultimate entertainer in our eyes.
And why did they use her?
Why did they use her?
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand why did they use her.
I really don't know why they use her. I don't know why they use her.
You notice how they broke Destiny Child apart. And she was probably the one that was willing to do what they wanted to do. So one of the things they do, the proposition, they find out who the head start of a group is, and they'll proposition the people in the group.
Right.
It happened to Jay-Z. So Jay-Z was Jay-Z, but you had Dame Dash, you had with Rockefeller Records. Jay-Z was the one that was willing to do what they wanted him to do, and that's why they kicked out Dame Dash and everybody else, because Jay-Z was the one that...
Because they orchestrated Jay-Z in a way to get Dame Dash out of that business.
Jay-Z's a plant.
Right.
And like I said, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I got nothing against Jay-Z, but I have questions. Let me rephrase that. I'm not saying he's a plant, but I have questions about his role in Rockefeller, because think about it. If I wanted to dismantle your organization and to control it, I would use somebody close to you. I would use somebody that you're partnered with.
Right.
I'm not going to send something from the outside. And that's one of the things I say about our communities. Our communities are so screwed up that any organization, being paramilitary, government, or whatever, or political, can run operations in our communities, run operations in our sectors of business, and it goes unnoticed because we have so much chaos going on in our communities and sectors of business. So,
my bad.
What was that?
Yeah, with that situation, that shit's still questionable. And then it's like, nigga, you ain't even, after all these years, you ain't even tried to fix it. Now they done sat and had conversations or whatnot, but it's like, this nigga was fighting for you. I don't know if y'all seen that video where he went in them offices and like, how the fuck y'all having a business about my artist without me.
Right.
And my company, you know what I'm saying? He was fighting these niggas. He was fighting the Leors and all these the Kevin Lows and all these niggas. And them niggas was tucking they tail and walking up out of there. This nigga was fighting. They didn't want a nigga that was fighting. They wanted a nigga. They wanted the tap dance.
And they got one.
Compliant. They want somebody gonna comply.
They want somebody who they and it's CIA. I mean, if you read like the CIA, and I'm not saying I've read the handbook or anything like that, but there are several literature out there on how they operate overseas and how they. I know one is called an Economic Hitman. It's a really good book.
Economic Hitman.
The Economic Hitman.
For those that's listening, Economic Hitman.
And it's pretty much how they run operations overseas. They have these plants that go in these organizations, into political structures, and they actually disrupt countries. And it's happening to us. You know, a lot of people don't understand. Like, oh, this is the destabilization of what happened. This is the effect of other countries interfering with our politics. And music, they have politics, and they have people who go in there and they cause chaos. Those are the people that are going to raise them. I mean, they might be your homeboy. They're going to test everybody. He's going to be your agent. Like, everybody who works for the CIA is not a CIA agent. I mean, 90% of them are not CIA agents. They're what you call, for the lack of a better, I'm going to use the term. I'm purposely going to not to use the correct terminology for it, but for the lack, they're contractors. Okay. I will go in your organization and find out what the leadership is and test every which one of them, right? I'll get something on them, whatever, and say, this is what I want. I'm going to have you take over, but I'm going to guide you. And once you take over, you're going to be part of our organization. You're going to take orders from me.
So having a handler, right?
Yeah, it's like I'll be the handler. Yeah. So I will come to you. Let's say Jason and you or John. Use a word named John. You know, you use the word John or Bill. Let me see. Yeah, Jason, John, and Bill, right?
Okay.
So use the words Jason, John, and Bill, and you worked, been ready, and you worked with them. So let's say I test all of them. You're the one that's I can get something on and manipulate you, and wherever vice that you have, I can manipulate you. I would say, okay, I want you to start doing stuff. I want you to start discording the organization I'm going for. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna walk you step by step. You're gonna be an agent of mine. I'm your handler, but you're gonna be an agent. You're not part of the corporation, but you're our agent. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you, I need you to do this and this and this to cause discord. I'm gonna talk to these guys, and I'm gonna make them put in a position where they're gonna X everybody out but you, and you're gonna have the whole pie to yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly what went down. And Jay-Z has it was other things that transpired, like they got them to sell the company. Mm-hmm. So, and then they end up selling it back to Jay-Z for like peanuts.
It's in the clause already when you sign one. Like, I think they're partnership with Interscope. So it's in a clause already when you sign these partnerships. There's thousands of papers of legal documents you got to go through. And a lot of people don't have the lawyers or the money to pay the lawyers to go to legal documents.
Or the patients.
Or the patients. So there's clauses where we can buy you out if we get the majority of the vote.
Right.
So that, we want to put it in the hands of somebody's going to play ball and follow our directives.
I think they took it, sold it for peanuts, and the thing with Jay-Z is, even to this day, like, okay, I think the way that he's going now is he's trying to make up for the shit he did back then. He's real like pro-black now,
and that's fake. I'll tell you that right now. That's all fake, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a movie called Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a movie called Snowpiercer.
Uh-huh.
And it talks about how you can have. It talks about how one organization can control the opposition by creating the opposition.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? So, like, let's say Coca-Cola owns all these different brands or sub-brands of soda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you already might know human nature. You're going to have people who are not going to like one particular brand. They're going to go to another brand because we're all like individuals, you know. And there's going to be some type of statistic where only 90% like this brand and 10% not. Well, why don't you create a second brand and give people the options where you control the options?
Right.
So now we're gonna, you know, he's not trying to make up for anything. He's being super pro back. I mean, I'm not saying I know his situation. I'm not saying that, but theoretically, he's being super pro black because he's being told to do that.
And beneficial.
Correct, because if he starts a movement, they control it. They tell him what he wanted to do, and they can predict what this movement does. Versus the civil rights movement, where they really couldn't predict what was going on. And that's why they start assassinating leaders. Where every time they get scared, when they can't predict stuff, people go away.
Mm.
I mean, think about I want to hash about the Nipsey Hussle situation. If I looked at all the data points of that, and like I said, there's certain things about that particular situation that I'm not okay with. And
Speak on it.
And one thing was and I like to say that 36 pointed out is the movements of the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I particularly, I'm not going to say why, but I particularly was in a training program we watched thousands upon thousands of videos of gang violence, cartel violence, gang violence, and stuff like that. And they pretty much they'll tell you, basically they'll tell you statistically how gang violence plays out. Usually it's a opportunity based action, which gang violence is. I get an opportunity. I mean, a lot of it's assassination. You have assassinations, you have operations, but you also have opportunity, and a lot of gang violence goes into this opportunity thing. So if I see you and I don't like you, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you as many times as I can, fast as I can, and then try to get away.
Mm-hmm.
That's basic. If you boil everything down, that's basically what it is. And if you look at the shooter with Nipsey Hussle, he shoots him 2 times. He runs behind a car, right? Now, basic human nature, you'll run in between cars and not behind it because you feel safe with things on both sides of you, right?
Okay.
So, not only in basic human nature, he ran past the 2 cars. He had cars on both sides of him. And then he had a guy, a Caucasian white guy that was there that was talking to him, and that actually nobody that pulled off, talked to him, looked at Nipsey Hussle, talked to him. That probably was the handler. And he runs between the cars, runs behind the car to cover. He scans because Nipsey Hussle has buddies. Comes back shooting 2 more times, right? And then go back behind the same part of the car. Wait for retaliation, wait for return fire, and nobody showed up. Then he runs back and shoots him in the head and kicks him in the head. Now, most gang violence, they're not going to shoot you twice, go behind cover, wait for your homeboy to shoot back, shoot you 2 more times, go wait for you. That's a tactic.
Right. Now, do you feel that he went out there on the suicide? Was it the suicide mission? He just happened to get away. Like he went. If you ducking behind stuff, like you going there to have a shootout.
Correct.
He went there prepared.
Correct. That's something that most gang members. I'm not talking about Sicarios or MS-13s, or guys who actually have military training. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the typical American-bred gang member, especially like Crips or Bloods and stuff like that. For the most part, you're gonna come across them. They're gonna have what you call a particular type of violence. I like to say violence cadence. It's opportunity for the most part. Now unless it's a hit or unless it's it's a drive-by. But that particular type of scenario is an opportunity for me to shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you as much as I can, as fast as I can, and get out.
Now, with that being said, where would the kick come from in all of this?
That was just ignorance.
He just so okay. So even if to me, I felt like that came from a place of hating or just hate.
Well, you have
and
to have,
dislike.
you have to have some type of dislike or hate to do that to somebody, especially from their own gang. You know, you have to be a particular type of individual, and unfortunately, we have those type of individuals around us all the time. You know, and like it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Our communities are so messed up. You go to Asian community, they have safe zones. You go to white community, they have safe zones. You go to Mexican community, they have safe zones where there's no gang violence and it's complete control by the community. We don't have that, and that allows any organization, whether it be in government, paramilitary, political organizations, to run operations in our neighborhoods and be undetected, and it be just chalked up to gang violence or haterism.
All right. That now I was on the fence of like it's a setup. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel it's way deeper than what's being said or shown. Like that there was 2 other people that were shot. Like we know the Kerry dude was shot in the back, and there's a 3rd person who was shot, but we don't hear nothing from this person.
Nah.
Nothing came out to where the dude Kerry was like, you know, he shot. He didn't say nothing that was said between the dude and Nipsey. Because even if you shot, you still aware what's going on. You're in pain, but it's not like you know, out, consciousness. Like, so you still hear everything. Nobody came and said what was associated. They did say Nipsey was like, "You got me," or something. "You got me. You shot me. Like, I'm good." You know, so that was some of the things. Like, okay, what happened prior to that? To where I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's not a setup. Because if he's telling him that, that means something must have happened to him from him, for him to say, "You got me. I'm good."
What makes you think I wouldn't pick somebody that did something to you?
Oh no, that's the perfect person to pick. Why would you pick anybody else? The person that knows, like, and on top of that, like, there was an interview a few years back where they were saying, like, you know, we have cameras on the side.
Nobody got
because of this alley. Because of this alley, this alley's a dangerous alley because people could just come, pop, 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 and keep going. And they had the cameras there. We haven't seen not one
clear footage,
camera view, clear footage, nothing of the dude.
I have a question, right? And like I said, I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened because, like I said, I'm just speculating and just based on my information or my data point. Who checks themselves into a mental hospital after they shoot somebody?
Exactly.
That's trained. That is trained. That's something that I would tell somebody to do if I wanted to have an exit plan. Check yourself into the mental hospital.
Well, hopefully, you know, that he don't go and plead the insane thing, and it works.
Well,
think about the lawyer he got.
He off the case. He quit.
Yeah, I know he quit.
Why do you think he quit?
Yeah. Well, he said he was getting too many death threats, him and his family.
Yeah, and think about that, right? None of well, to me, and don't get me wrong. You know, people say, "Well, it's a hate." It was what you call it. We need to stop chalking everything up to us hating. And that's why that's the same thing they train us, like the TV thing, that the social media. That's the way they train us. Everybody has an algorithm, the way they process information from the outside world, and they know that you can tweak that, and everybody who's trained to say, "Oh, that's just haterism. That's just where our people is. That's just haterism," and it allows these organizations to run operations underneath your nose, and you just say, "Oh, that just wasn't even just hating on him."
Now, okay, so the whole Nipsey thing is I don't know, man. You hear things that was going on prior to that happened, right? There's word that, you know, the dude he was a snitch or whatever, and he told him, you got to shake from here, come back with paperwork. There's also
That could be true.
actually I can't speak on the other thing on air, but I'll talk about the other thing on air. I don't know how true it is, but the source I got it from, it was pretty reliable. You all right? The thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yo, go mouth ass up.
He's been gone for like 5 minutes. You all right? He gonna look around, stare at everybody else like they all right. Are you all right?
It's gonna be all right.
I'll make sure everybody's still on board, man. I hear y'all, but I'm out of it.
Hey,
I never promised nobody nothing.
hey,
Hey.
that nigga was out. That nigga had a mad face. I never seen nigga sleep, man.
He was sleep.
He looked like blind Fury in his sleep.
That nigga sitting there, look. That nigga sitting there.
Like,
He
dropping that deuce.
Taking that deuce.
Nah, the message was so heavy. That's what it was.
He was over there snoring in the mic.
What? Like I said, there's people who are social engineering, and there's a term called human hacking. Like if I wanted to hack a computer, if I don't have let's say you have some type of encryption and whatever it's going on in your computer, I wouldn't hack your computer if it's outside of my skill range. I would hack you.
What's that shit called?
It's human hacking. I would hack you. I would befriend you. I would find out what's going on.
Something Ultra.
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra.
It's kind of like MK Ultra, but MK Ultra kind of evolved to pop culture and social media.
Got it.
So like I said, one of the things that bothers me is that we can't differentiate because of the state of our community and the state of our leadership and our communities, operations from actual crimes.
Oh
yeah.
man.
That sauce too much.
Armrest Henry over there.
Really got you gone.
Drunk man, yeah, that's me.
They say he's holding the mic though.
Wait a minute. Jump on the freeway, man.
Yo, hey, nigga sitting there rocking. That nigga sitting
Slow stroke.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. This guy's definitely ready to go
He
home.
just rubbed it out.
So much for me. I like it like that.
Yo, niggas.
Yeah. I guess they definitely need to find some girlfriends. That might be real part.
He was rocking back and forth. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna say nothing about it, but oh man, I'm sorry.
On that note, man, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
He was holding on that mic for dear life. It slipped off. It fell off in the corner right there. That was funny.
Hello.
It went off.
Hey, brother. Anytime you, it's a lot of late for you, man. You might need to go home.
Oh man.
Like go
Yeah,
home,
man.
Yeah, home.
He said, "Oh, you home."
That's it for us, man. That was funny. Appreciate it.
I'm out of here anyway.
Appreciate No Cut. Appreciate Pickles. Appreciate 36.
36.
Next year he'll be 37.
Know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So yeah, we out of here, man. That was funny, man. Peace.
Peace.
He was on that mic like he was singing.
Oh yeah.
How did you balance that and not fall off?
He's holding on for dear life.
How did you balance the mic like this and not fall?
Oh, don't let me fall.
He is not. He's not digging that at all. He's gold.
I'm thinking, why are you guys still here?